Hey, thought leaders. This is the personalbranding.com podcast, and I'm your host, Dillon Kivo. Join us to learn how to build a legacy, boost your reputation, and make a lasting impact. Let's dive in. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the personalbranding.com podcast. I'm Dillon Kivo, and today we're talking about something that a lot of us experience but don't always address openly. Imposture syndrome. If you've ever felt like you don't quite measure up, that your success is a fluke, or someday that people find out you're not as capable as they think, trust me, you're not alone. Imposture syndrome can hit hard, especially for entrepreneurs who are constantly pushing boundaries and stepping out of their comfort zones. And today, we're going to explore what imposture syndrome is, why it affects so many of us, and actionable ways to work through it so it doesn't hold you back. Let's dive in. First things first, let's define imposture syndrome. It's that nagging feeling that your achievements aren't real, or that you've somehow tricked people into thinking that you're more skilled or knowledgeable than they actually think you are. For entrepreneurs, this can show up as doubting your abilities, hesitating to take risks, or feeling uncomfortable when recognized for your successes. It's natural to question ourselves sometimes, and self-doubt is part of the human experience. But imposter syndrome can become a barrier if it prevents you from moving forward, networking, or fully embracing your opportunities. So recognizing it and addressing it is key, not only for your personal growth, but for the growth of your business too. Tip number 1, reframe negative thoughts with realistic self-talk. The first step in tackling imposter syndrome is to reframe those negative thoughts. When self-doubt creeps in, it often brings a lot of "I'm not good enough" or "I don't belong here" messages, right? But here's the thing, something to keep in mind, our feelings are not fact. A practical approach is to actually start talking to yourself as you would to a friend. For example, if a friend said, "I'm not qualified for this role," would you tell them that they're right? Probably not. Instead, you would remind them of their accomplishments, talents, and hard work. Try offering the same kindness to yourself. Instead of "I got lucky," try thinking "I worked hard and my efforts created this opportunity." It might feel, unnatural at first, but over time, reframing your inner dialogue can make a world of a difference. Tip number 2, keep a wins journal. One of the best ways to counteract imposter syndrome is to document your successes, no matter how small they seem. A wins journal is a place where you record your accomplishments, milestones, and positive feedback from clients and mentors or even colleagues. Writing down these wins can be incredibly empowering, especially on tough days when that self-doubt sneaks in. Whenever you're feeling like an imposter, just look through your journal and remind yourself of all of the progress you've made. This tangible proof of your success can help reinforce your sense of worth and achievement, which is essential for building resilience as an entrepreneur. Tip number 3, lean into your community for support. Building a community of supportive people around you is crucial for overcoming imposter syndrome. Networking isn't just about expanding your professional circle. It's about surrounding yourself with people who can remind you of your value and cheer you on. When you connect with fellow entrepreneurs, you'll often find that many of us have experienced similar feelings. Talking to others about imposter syndrome can be liberating, and sometimes hearing that someone you admire has gone through the same thing is all you need to actually hear to keep moving forward. So don't be afraid to reach out, join mastermind groups, attend events, or even start small with LinkedIn connections. Authentic support from others can go a long way in building confidence. Tip number 4, embrace failing forward. A big part of, overcoming imposter syndrome is learning to be okay with failure, or rather learning to see failure as a natural part of the entrepreneurial journey. We often think that mistakes diminish our credibility, but in reality, they're often our best teachers. Instead of viewing mistakes as proof that you're not good enough, just try to reframe them as part of the process. Each setback brings you one step closer to success by teaching you valuable lessons. The idea of failing forward means understanding that every mistake is progress in disguise. Embracing this mindset can help you move forward beyond the fear of failure and allow yourself to take bolder steps toward growth. Tip number 5, set realistic goals and celebrate the small wins. One of the quickest ways to feel like an imposter is by setting unrealistic goals, then feeling disappointed when you don't reach them. Instead, focus on setting achievable, incremental goals. These don't have to be huge milestones. They can be as simple as hitting a daily target, making a new connection, or completing a small project. Celebrating these smaller wins as they come in, it's a powerful way to boost your confidence and build momentum. When you break your larger goals down into smaller ones, manageable ones, you're giving yourself the chance to feel successful more often. Plus, each small win, it reinforces that you're on the right track, reminding you that progress is progress, no matter how big or small it is. Tip number 6, use visualization to reinforce your confidence. This might sound, a bit woo-woo, but the visualization is scientifically backed that it can help you overcome feelings of inadequacy. Professional athletes and public speakers often use visualization to picture themselves succeeding before they actually do it. And it can work wonders for entrepreneurs too. Spending just a few minutes each day visualizing yourself accomplishing your goals, just picture yourself in that meeting, delivering that pitch or finalizing that big deal. Imagine the confidence you'll feel and the positive reactions you'll get. When you practice these scenarios in your mind, you're training your brain to handle them in real life, making the experience less intimidating. Tip number 7, redefine success for yourself. Look, in entrepreneurship, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. We've all done it. But when we base our self-worth on external validation, such as social media followers, revenue, or other people's approval, we're setting ourselves up for a cycle of imposter syndrome already from the start. Take some time to define what success means to you personally. This might be about impacting your clients, building a sustainable lifestyle, or achieving creative freedom. When you shift from external measures to your personal values, it can be a lot easier to feel a sense of accomplishment and pride in your journey, no matter where you are. Tip number 8. Remember, imposter syndrome doesn't go away completely. It just gets quieter. Here's a comforting thought. Most successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, and even public figures still experience imposter syndrome. The difference is that they're learning how to handle it rather than let it hold them back. Imposter syndrome might never fully go away, but the more you practice these strategies, the quieter that voice of self-doubt becomes. Think of imposter syndrome as a part of the journey rather than an obstacle. Each time that you just tackle it head on, you are building resilience and reminding yourself that you have everything it takes to succeed. All right, that's it for today's episode, and I hope you're walking away with some valuable insights on managing imposter syndrome as an entrepreneur. It's a journey that many of us share. And while self-doubt can be tough, there are so many ways to work through it. Remember, imposter syndrome doesn't define your ability or worth. Keep reframing your thoughts, lean into your support network, and celebrate each small win along the way. Thank you for tuning in to the personalbranding.com podcast. I'm your host, Dillon Kivo, and as always, keep building your brand and believing in yourself. And until next time, stay strong and keep pushing forward. God bless. Thanks for tuning in. I'd love to hear from all of you. Follow and connect with me on all of your favorite social media platforms at Dillon Kivo, DILLONKI, V as in Victor, O. And until next time, keep building your brand and stay golden.